So good evening, everyone, and welcome to this session. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for rest of your peers to join in and start this session sharp at 7:03. Thank you for your patience. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly Thursdays for PGP YL. My name is Amit Tyagi. I'm the Associate Director for Admissions at Indian School of Business. Today, we also have Director Admissions Financial Aid, Mr. Vikram Bawa, with us. We have Kiran Neti from the admissions team and Kaushik from the admissions team, who are regional managers for North and South, respectively. And today, we have a very interesting session for you where Sowmya Shashidhara, Director for PGP YL, will be in conversation with Mr. Kiran Neti, who is the Director and Head for the Career Advisory Services at the Indian School of Business. So this is your session to get all your queries answered on the placements, on the career part, and so on, so forth. And post the discussion, we'll open the floor for questions, and you can ask your questions first on the careers part, and then we'll take questions on the admissions front as well. So let's start the session. Over to you, Sowmya.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you so much for having myself and Kiran for the PGPYL Thursdays. It's a pleasure. And hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. So we will start with talking about how students or MBA students who have a lot of career options when they come into a very good MBA program should consider evaluating various career options. So that would be my first question to Kiran. Kiran, welcome. And then, as you know, when students enter MBA schools, including ISB, they are offered a plethora of options in terms of careers, in terms of sectors, in terms of functions. So, what would be your advice or to sort of for them to start evaluating what is best for them?
Sure. Thanks, Soumya. Thank you, Amit. Welcome all for this session. I'm very happy and glad to know that you all are very curious to understand how things will pan out if you were to kind of pick up PGPYL at ISB. Interesting things happened in the market in the last couple of years. We have been kind of connecting up with a lot of clients across various industries, various geographies. What's interesting to know is that most of these clients are looking at two types of hires from various B schools. Number one is, of course, the management trainee route. Number two is the lateral route. I think we could fulfill their talent needs for the lateral route in the past, and we continue to do that. But what we have realized over the years is that companies which are carving out management trainee roles for students with up to 2 years of work experience, ISB was unable to kind of fulfill those mandates in the past. The happy news for us now, because we will be in both the segments going forward, and whether consulting, technology, finance, FMCG, FMCD, I think there are a set of companies which are very clear that they will be happy to look at the talent pool. And based on the dipstick, based on our connects across various companies in India, we have come out with this program. It's a very thought-wise. I think it's very clear in our minds that we will be able to kind of do justice to the students who are going to join in this program. And also there are companies across various industries who are interested in looking at this kind of a cohort to fulfill their needs in the management training kind of a program that they have carved out for their organizations.
Thank you, Kiran. So, so once students come in from various and diverse backgrounds, engineering, some people from commerce and pure science, etc., etc. So, how is it? What are the inputs that they would get from a school like ours for them to understand the various opportunities in the industry and the roles?
Sure, Sowmya. So this is more to do with, as I mentioned in my earlier response, these are more management training programs. There are more accelerated programs. These are more rotational programs. What we have observed is that companies kind of design these programs to build their future pipeline, leadership pipeline. Although it takes time for kind of reach to a level, but what's important is that companies have a very clear uh, career path for these students when they hire them for the management a training program, or let's say accelerated program, or a rotational programs. Whether companies in India or whether companies, there are few companies from the international locations also, which look at students with lesser years of work experience to join into these programs and builds a very great career for them, because there are students who are from commerce, there are students from engineering, there are students from let's say from other streams or STEM background. I think companies are very clear that they will be able to kind of mold this talent and kind of take them, give them, offer them leadership roles in the coming years once they kind of join into these rotational so-called or the management training programs.
So what you're saying is these are typically cross-functional training, which happens gives them a holistic view of the organization, and they would also get an opportunity to have an accelerated career in that
Absolutely.
organization.
Yeah. Especially the rotational program, Soumya, how it happens is that it helps students to kind of navigate through various functions, and it enables people to understand more about the organization in the long run. And they kind of finally offer them a particular function to kind of work in. I think that's the beauty of these programs. And many of the students from other schools, what we have observed is kind of companies have really uh, hired them. And we think that it's a similar process for the students who are going to join in an ISB for the PGPYL program.
Great. Thank you so much. So, so what has been so Kiran, you lead a professional team of career advancement services professionals who are in touch with the various corporates all over India and abroad as well. So, what has been your philosophy of engaging with recruiters and then grooming them? And also, can you just give us sort of a idea about the bucket of recruiters that ISB typically works with, just to get a sense of where some of our alums are working, etc.
Sure, Soumya. It's a very professional run team. What we have done is that we have people who have industry knowledge uh, and who have domain knowledge. People have worked in the industry and have joined the school to work professionally with the organizations to understand what kind of roles uh, can uh, can be brought into the school. And this is the same team which kind of generates good number of offers for the PGP, and we are very confident that the current team will be very happy to kind of service the PGP YL2. When we connect with corporates, we are very clear that we want to kind of offer them talent across all levels. And with PGP YL getting added, I think we'll be more than happy to kind of service the clients across all levels, be it management trainee level or be it the lateral level. And that's the beauty of this. I think over the years, there was a little bit of a what you call challenge when we used to go and meet clients that, hey, look, this is something maybe we should have. I'm very happy that and glad that ISB has started something of this kind, so that we are able to service those clients which would kind of really hire at a management training level. be it companies from the FMCG, let's say the likes of Dabur, L'Oreal, Johnson and Johnson. I think there are a couple of others, HUL and ITC, which come and hire lateral, but they will be very happy to look at the management ready trainee positions also to be fulfilled from ISB. And be it technology, be it consulting, I think all sorts of companies do come to campus because of the lateral pool of talent that we have. And we'll be very happy to service them by offering the talent which is at with lesser years of work experience.
Great. So this is a question I had for later on, but since we already spoke about laterals and freshers, so I'm going to ask you the question that often gets asked to us during our interaction with the aspirants. So how do you see PGP YL and PGP? So what are the type of career outcomes we would expect in PGP, and what is the suitability of a PGP program, and what is the typical profile we would expect to place through a PGP type of program, and how is that different from PGP YL? Because a lot of students are in the dilemma of, do I apply to YL and get in immediately, or do I need to really wait and then get into the PGP program, which is obviously much more established?
So I can bring in recruiters' perspective over here, Sowmya. From whatever discussions we keep having with our clients, in their minds, they're very clear that if a student is looking for some kind of a career shift, they should look at a PGP after working for a couple of years in the market. Vis-a-vis somebody is looking for some rotational program or some kind of a management training program where there is where they themselves can restrict their own career path, is something which I think is clearly defined at the marketplace. I think that is something which I want students to also be aware of. I think that will give them a clear indication in terms of whether it is PGP YL or PGP. Although both have their own advantages and disadvantages, but I would suggest that it's about the student who needs to take a call in terms of whether it's PGP YL or PGP based on what they want to do in their career after a couple of years, or let's say even if they want to kind of look for some change in their career. Based on that, they can definitely take a decision. But one thing which I can confidently talk about is recruiters have very clear definition in terms of the years of work experience, in terms of the programs that they are hiring from. If somebody is with higher years of work experience, they come to ISB because they think that student is looking for some kind of a career shift, let's say 4 years, 5 years kind of a years of work experience. But somebody is for lesser years of work experience, they would want them to kind of join these management training programs.
Great. So thank you. So coming specifically to the YL program, Kiran, you are now ideating and leading, and you have been part of the PGP YL program development process, giving the team, the program team, a lot of inputs from the recruiter perspectives. So how are you looking at career path? What are some of the specific or dominant career pathways that you anticipate for this program?
So few of the companies that we spoke to, whether it is consulting, whether it is technology, whether it is finance, FMCG, e-commerce to a certain extent, I think these companies are very clear that they want to build a future leadership pipeline for them, for their organizations. And they want to kind of really hire students with lesser years of work experience. As I mentioned earlier also, that they were maybe craving for ISB to offer this kind of a talent pool in the past, which we could not. Maybe now we will be able to. And these are the various industries and companies from various industries which are looking at talent from a top tier business school like ISB. And I'm confident that companies would love to kind of look at this talent, be it Goldman Sachs, be it JP Morgan, be it Morgan Stanley. I think these are few of the names that I can definitely call out and
Sure.
rattle out few others in the finance sector. Or if it is consulting, let it be MBBs, McKinsey, BCG, Bain. And there are other set of, let's say, 15, 20 odd companies which are very keen to kind of look at this talent pool too. Because we have observed that these are the same companies which are kind of visiting the other schools and looking at this talent pool. And often we get to we get to ask this question that when is that ISB is coming out with this kind of a program. And as I mentioned earlier, that I'm very glad and happy to know that this is something which is going to change the fortunes of the students and also recruiters who are looking at this kind of a talent pool to be available at ISB. We can confidently say to the recruiter that you can look at hiring across all levels of years of work experience now at ISB, be it up to 2 years of work experience, hiring from PGP YL, be it PGP, where we look at lateral talent pool, 2 and above up to 6 years, and 6 and above could be, let's say, a super lateral level. I think that's something which will be super fascinating for the recruiters because it's almost like a marketplace for organizations to look at hiring the talent from ISB.
Thank you, Kiran. So another, I remember while during our program design stage, one of the strong recommendations you came forth was the inclusion of summer internship into the program design. So, I mean, what was the basis or what was the input that you were reading when you made this suggestion to the program team?
No, good question. Very good question, Soumya. The reading that we had from the market was that most of these recruiters want students to really understand the organization, understand the kind of role that they would be kind of getting post the internship. I think that was the basic premise for these organizations to looking for some kind of a program of this nature at ISB. And they were pretty confident in saying that, hey, look, it's about student understanding us and we understanding the student. It's about uh, uh, basic understanding of the organization and the role, which enables students to kind of really know that, hey, look, this is the organization that this is the role that I want to kind of really go ahead and work. I think that is the basic premise for us to kind of really point out this, saying that the internship will really help students to understand more about the organization, culture, about the role, and also the way they can carve out their career within that organization. And there are many organizations which are very promising in terms of offering internships to the students.
Great. So, what you're saying is the 8 weeks that they would spend at the corporate is sort of like understanding each other, and then how does this translate? Does it what are some of the outcomes out after the summer internship? Does it lead to any placements? Is that what you're envisaging? How do you look at this panning out?
No, no, absolutely. I think that's the basic way in terms of companies wanting to kind of look at the talent pool. Also want to understand the kind of talent that we are providing from the organization's point of view. And it obviously gives a lot of credibility for the organization, also for the student to kind of go and join and work in that organizations. And what we have observed is that a couple of organizations with whom we spoke to, more so in the finance sector and also consulting and technology, they're very clear in this 8 weeks what is the kind of work that they want to offer to the students while they are on the internship. Uh, Absolutely, day in and day out, they know that this is the work, this is the outcome that they're looking for. And it is not like they're just calling students for internship, 8 weeks will just fly away, nothing of that kind. And the kind of information that we have gathered from few of these recruiters, they are absolutely clear in terms of right from day one, this is the work that the intern will be doing with us. And they are very clear in terms of hiring uh, talent which is of top notch quality.
Okay, thank you so much, Kiran. And that's the end of my questions. And so we can open the floor for some questions related to Kiran so that we can catch him while he's here and he can respond to questions related to careers. And then after that, we will go back to Amit Tyagi and team for questions regarding admissions. So whoever wants to ask questions regarding uh,
Sure. Siddharth, please unmute yourself and ask a question.
So, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Uh, I want to ask question about that as I am pursuing projects, pursuing and studying project in and executing the project. So I was very interested in project management, and I am wanted to more go in depth, deep in project. So is it good for me to go for YL, or get some experience first and uh, go for PGP?
So as I mentioned, Siddharth, very good question, by the way. Thank you for joining on the call. As I mentioned earlier, in the question that Sowmya asked, I think it's about the student to take a decision in terms of whether it is PGP versus PGP YL. What I can comment on is that for both the categories of students, companies do have positions. For example, you spoke about project management. There are companies in the e-commerce space, whether it is Amazon, which comes for AFBP program, Amazon Future Builders program, whether it is Flipkart, which comes for the operations program. I think they are very clear in terms of hiring talent across all the levels, whether it is management training or whether it is lateral. So I don't see any reason why you should not be, or you should not be thinking in the lines of applying to PGPYL, unless otherwise you want to kind of shift an industry after some time, after working in the industry for 4 years or 3 years. So my guidance to you would be that it's your decision, which you should kind of really think through before you kind of apply to PGPYL or PGP. But otherwise, from the placement or from the careers point of view, I think there are opportunities available for students who are going to join PGPYL vis-a-vis PGP. Soumya, you want to add anything to this?
That's, I think, in line with our thinking. So if you're clear about where you want to go, and if you're clear you want to get into management early on in your career, so YL is the option that you will need to consider. But if you have taken a certain career trajectory and you feel you would want to like pivot to a different function or an industry, PGP is what would help you do that. So Kiran, yes, absolutely, I think you're bang on about that.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Siddharth, thank you. Anish, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Anish, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Just okay. Yeah. So yeah, hi. This is Anish Behra speaking. So I am interested in investment banking roles after I finish my masters. So I just wanted to know how the opportunities are in IB, considering ISB has been traditionally quant heavy school.
No, there are opportunities for IB roles also, as I mentioned, that companies in the finance sector, today, there are few companies which say that if you have an internship, we'll be more than happy to come and hire from the school. So definitely for PGPYL, there is already craving in the market that if ISB has something of this kind, we'll be more than happy to kind of come and recruit students who will do internship and move into the roles that you have an aspiration for. Investment banking, there are a set of companies which we already in touch with, be it Goldman Sachs, be it Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. I think they are very clear that if ISB has got an internship route, we'll be more than happy to hire students for IB roles too. That said, they do come and hire for other roles from campus, which they hire lateral. But yes, there is a lot of scope right now, which we saw that there is demand in the market, by the way, and that is one reason why we got this program in. Because what we saw is that maybe we are missing something on the table, and it's important that we kind of really grab the opportunity to service the client across all levels.
So this particular summer internship that has been introduced in YL, so this
Yes.
particular has been, I mean, I wouldn't say focus, but to improve the career outcomes in banking sector, right? Is
Yes,
that one
there
of
are few. Yeah, I would not kind of, I would not say that it's not the case. Possibly yes, because there are some companies which are very clear in their approach of hiring. So there are two tracks, as I mentioned. Track one is the management track, and track two is the lateral track. Track one, at this point in time, I think few of the companies are very clear that unless and until we have internship, we will not be able to kind of process it further. And that's the track which we'll be able to kind of very clearly observe and try to help companies with the PGP YL being launched. The 2 months kind of an internship really enables you to learn a lot of things in the company. And they're very clear in this 8 weeks tenure that you're going to spend with the company as an intern, the kind of work that they would expect from you. And there will be a lot of learning for you, and which will help you to kind of carve your career in that organization or in any other organization for that matter, depending on the policies that we have on the placements.
Right, I get that, but my question is, if even in internship the opportunities are mostly in management side, then it wouldn't add value, right, for me to get into because I'll tell you my background. So I'm currently working in banking sector only for the past 1 year. So I'll be applying for 2025 intake. So I'll
Okay.
have around 2 years of work by the time I join the cohort. Yeah, I work at MUFG Bank. So the thing is, it's not IB role. So I want to make a shift to IB role.
Yeah, with lesser
Yeah.
years of
So
with 1 year
uh,
of work experience, you can join the PGP YL and then aspire to get into an IB role. That's the same thing that I was talking about.
correct. But even in the summer internship program, if the opportunities are mostly focused on management type roles, consulting or management type roles, then it it wouldn't make sense. I mean, I'm just asking if
No,
uh,
that's the reason why I said, Animesh, that there are companies from the banking and financial sector also, whether it is IB or whether it is other roles within the banks. They are very clear that they want to kind of come with roles of this kind, which will be through the internship route. And there are few companies which have said no to us at this point in time to come and hire for laterals because we don't have an internship program within the PGP.
hmm,
So they are very clear that if PGP YL has got an internship, we'll be more than happy to come and hire students for the IB roles too. I've already said this.
okay. And you said track two is lateral entry,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct.
All right. Yeah.
That's a
Thank you
lateral
so much.
entry. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Anish, thank you. Rishabh, go ahead, please. Rishabh Agarwal.
Hello. Sir,
Rishabh.
I'm audible. Hello, sir. Sir,
Hi.
actually, I know ISB is a big brand name, but sir, can this program provide the same opportunity as the executive program of ISB?
Sorry, I could not hear you properly. Can you be a little louder, please? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, can this program provide the same opportunity or similar opportunities as the executive program of ISB?
Rishabh, can I make a suggestion? You'll need to be more specific because by executive program, do you mean the PGP Max
Yeah.
program or the
Oh,
programs that we offer through the executive education portfolio of ISB?
yeah.
No, sir. Ma'am, the normal PGP program, ma'am.
Oh, that is not an executive program, but
Yeah,
Kiran, go on. So the
So
comparison is between PGP and PGPYL. Yeah.
as
yeah.
I
Sorry.
mentioned, thanks for clarifying, Sowmya. As I mentioned earlier, that these two are different tracks altogether. One is lateral track, where students want to do a career shift and want to kind of move on in their careers. The other one is more of restructuring the career, or rather, let's say, carving out a career for yourself. I think these two are different. You need to kind of have different lenses for these two programs altogether. With internship inbuilt, I'm sure there is a lot of opportunity for you to delve into various domains that companies will come and hire students from PGPYL. Which domain you want to really choose is something that is left to you. But there is definitely an opportunity for students to carve their career from here onwards, whether it is within the management stream, be it operations, be it technology, be it finance, be it sales and marketing. I think that is something which is an option given to the students, But companies are pretty clear from their side that if students with lesser years of work experience are available at ISB and the internship program is available at ISB, we'll be more than happy to look at the talent pool to recruit them through the internship route or even otherwise. So both are different tracks altogether.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah, please.
Sir, like you mentioned, the JP Morgan, Bain and Gain. So, sir, would the consulting firms like Bain and Gain, BCG would come for the summer internship placement?
Yeah, that's would be our attempt. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. They do go to other schools. Why not to ISB? They are already coming to ISB now.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be more than happy to lure them with this talent too.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rishabh. Barisha, go ahead, please. Barisha Singh.
Hi, very good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, Barisha. Yeah, audible. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions, and the first one is basically in the curriculum, we have a few USPs mentioned, one of them being the pivot platform, I guess, regarding the venture opportunities, and another also regarding the innovation. So can you share some more details about what these platforms will actually offer? Like, are they going to be more on the practical experiential learning only, or is it a part of the theoretical curriculum?
Kiran, can I take that?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think PGP YL is for what we are calling early graduates. That means people who are applying in their final year or have less than 24 months of work experience.
Right.
So when we got into the detailed design of the program, we said we needed to provide this audience a lot of practical and hands-on experience, which in our PGP we assume that they already have. Right. So
Right.
that is why you see the complete track of business in action, which has three components, which is ideas, which is basically looking at user-centered solutioning. So there is a lot of field work, solutioning, design thinking, customer centricity, all those concepts that you would like sort of weave in to like provide solutions. And the
Right.
summer internship gives exposure to what we call the corporate environment. Typically, most of the internships happen with corporates. So, how you are able to work in corporates, navigate, influence teams, and influence of upwards, etc., etc. And that also sort of becomes like a interim input for you to come back and do a period of self-reflection through our career advancement and professional CAPD, professional development track,
Okay.
right? So, and then third one is the pivot that you're talking about. So we have given field experience of user centricity, and then corporate experience, and the pivot is the intervention where extensive exposure is given to venture building and also working in startups, right? Because a lot of people are interested in working in startups, but so we want, and it's very different from working in a mature corporate, let's say HUL,
Right.
Godrej,
So,
etc. So that's where it is.
so is it going to be like again a couple of weeks or a particular time tenure working in the startups or building upon one's own idea?
There are both opportunities. We are still defining that, but these both these options are being evaluated. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And coming to the other question that I had, because Kiran said you already explained a lot about the opportunities, how they are going to differ for PGP and PGP YL. But just trying to be more specific here, certainly when we talk about the packages for the placements for different roles, they are not going to be the same for the freshers. But if we can get a approximate idea of what kind of expectations can we have after this program.
You are yet to join the course. We are yet to start the course. I think let's take this once you join the course. That's on a lighter note. I think we are very focused on that. Let me put you. Let me kind of share my views on that. It is not about I want to kind of really quote a figure right now on the call. What's
Got it.
important for us to understand that across various industries, across various domains, what are the kind of compensations which organizations are paying at the top schools is something that we are definitely aware of, and we will definitely peg it at that level or a little higher than that. So that assurance, that is something which we will be more than confident to kind of offer you. But how much that would be, how will that pan out? It is something which is very difficult to kind of offer at this point in time, because it is all about time, situation, organization, industry, domain, and other stuff.
Got it. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, Vaishnav, good luck. Diksha, go ahead, please. Diksha Bulbulia.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Very much, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, Ms. Kiran. Hi, Mr. Kiran, and hi, Ms. Sowmya. Thank you so much for providing an overview on the internship and also what the job opportunities would look like after PGPYL. So the one question that I have is, to what extent does does the PGPYL program expect applicants to have a well-defined career goal or a specific industry or role in mind before starting the program? So yeah, over to you. If needed, I could rephrase the question as well.
Sowmya, you want to take it?
Sorry, do rephrase. Thank you.
Do
Okay,
rephrase.
so right. So basically, what I really want to ask is, to what extent does the program, since it's only for with people who are just out of college or with just 2 years of experience, do you all expect the applicants to have a defined career goal or a specific industry in mind while joining the program, or is it, or will it be encouraged even if people do not have a very clear clarity about the field that they want to get into?
So absolutely, this is drawing from the counseling that AFA outreach teams gives to. I'm going to answer this. You do not. You need to. You probably need to have some idea about what you want to do, why you're getting into MBA, but we don't expect you to come with extremely well defined ideas about what industry to go, what roles to go. So if you go through our brochures, there is this component called CAPD, Career Advancement and Professional Development. The phase one of that gives a in-depth and industry deep dive and role deep dive. And then basis the understanding of this and basis the understanding of your own capabilities and your interest and aptitude, you can formulate this interest and then pick up the set of organizations you would want to apply. And I think the advantage of this 21th program with an internship is the initial hypothesis and getting into a particular summer internship can also give you some insights about what you theorized about, what you liked or did not like, right? So, and also the other exposures in the business in action track also will give you these exposures. So collectively, I think you'll be in good books to make a very informed decision about where you want to see your career going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
just to add on the careers thing, I think Diksha, the point which Sowmya made in terms of outside the classroom learning, which is what we talk about, where you get a lot of experiential learning in terms of what is the track that you want to take. Companies are pretty clear that these are the students who do not have ample years of work experience. Hence, the management training program has been carved out, or let's say there are rotational programs which are carved out to enable you to understand what is the career trajectory that you want to really take. So hence, I don't see that there is going to be a challenge for students who are joining PGPYL to pick up, let's say, it's hard and fast that you have to pick up this vis-a-vis the other one. It's only about the learning and understanding that you get during the course of the program, or the learnings that you're going to have outside the classroom. I think based on that, you can always take a decision in terms of what is the domain that you want to really pick up.
Absolutely.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right, Sneha, go ahead, please. Sneha Tekriwal.
Yeah, hi everyone. Am I audible?
Loud and clear, yeah.
Yeah, firstly, thank you so much for organizing this session. I'm pretty sure all of us doubts have gotten much clearer. So I had a question regarding the job opportunities and specifically on the consulting job opportunities. So the flagship PGP program at ISB. So let's say if someone wants to go into a consulting background, the starting opportunities start with a junior associate of sorts. So just wanted to understand that in this program, in the PGP YL program, uh, how would that go? Because people would have experience of around 2 years as well, whereas people will be there who will be freshers as well. So just wanted to understand how will that go?
So in terms of consulting, in fact, we had a couple of discussions already with the consulting folks. One thing which they are also talking about is if we are kind of coming for JA2, maybe for students with the 20 months of 20 months of program and also with an internship, maybe they will kind of hire at JA1. So these discussions are already on, Sneha, with the consulting group. uh, Companies are very clear in terms of pegging students across various levels. That said, there are companies which hire uh, for through the internship route at other B schools, and they also go and hire laterals at other B schools. So we are pretty confident that consulting companies look at both ways in terms of hiring talent, whether students up to 2 years of work experience or whether students with more than 2 years of work experience. The couple of other roles which we are also kind of foreseeing, not from the let's say MBBs, but there are other consulting companies which are pretty clear of hiring students through the internship route. There are companies like EY Parthenon, there are companies like PwC. I think these are also international companies which are looking at hiring students through the internship route. I'm sure we will be kind of latching on to them in terms of offering these kind of roles to the students who are going to join the PGPYL course.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the clarification.
All right. Good luck, Sneha. Harishankar, go ahead, please. Harishankar Narayanan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. So thank you so much for the session to all the panelists over here. So my question was, so I come from an economics background and I have been working, in my family business for the past 1 year in strategy and deal making, more in a client-facing role. So not much in the analysis part. The whole point of me coming, like applying to the ISB for the PGP while is because I want to figure out other aspects of business and not just do the same thing again, because I have no clue about the other stuff as well. I wanted to know from your side, what are some non-conventional routes or non-conventional opportunities that students can expect after the ISB? When I mean non-conventional, something, maybe something except consulting, banking, finance, product, maybe something in media, maybe something in. So something I've been curious about is an ESG and environment, and I've done a lot of work in regarding that. Maybe something more unconventional. Is there anything that relates to this?
We're slowly seeing the traction, Harishankar. Great question, by the way. I think we are slowly seeing the traction in terms of unconventional companies, or rather companies which are into different sectors altogether, which are wanting to create this whole management training program. They are already devising a lateral program. For example, there is Honeywell, which comes for Senior Leadership Development Program. And we are also in talks with them if they can kind of lower the years of work experience for a different category of work experience students. So there are companies which are looking at hiring students with lower years of work experience. But you know what? There are specific industries which are habituated to hire students through the internship program. And the others, maybe we have to educate, we have to make them learn. For example, when Amazon started their business in India, they came to us and they said that we need to kind of hire students who understand e-commerce. I said, that's going to be very tough for you to that's a very tough ask. You have to co-create the talent. So they started this whole program and they kind of they started the hiring process. They came to campus, made students understand how e-commerce industry works, what are the bolts and the nuts of that, and they kind of created that talent and they hired the talent. At times, what happens is that we have to be the front runners in terms of helping companies to understand how do they need to really hire the talent, and that's what we are here for. For example, there are a couple of companies where we go as a consultants and we tell them that this is the way in which you can hire hire talent from ISB. For example, Axis Bank is one of them where We said that if women percentage is something that diversity is something that you are looking at, then you should carve out a program for women leadership. And they kind of did that, and currently it's going really good. I think at times what happens is, as I mentioned, we need to really enable these things. And hopefully there are some companies which are trying to focus hiring students with lower years of work experience, and whether it is impact consulting, whether it ESG. But yeah, I have not seen at least companies talking about it so widely and openly. Maybe it will take some more time for us to kind of bring in those companies to look at talent at with lower years of work experience also.
Sure, great. Thank you so much. Just one more question. So you had earlier mentioned during the meeting that some of the firms abroad also hire from, or they might hire from the
Correct.
ISB PGP YL program.
Correct.
And like I wanted to know what kind of roles would they like typically usually be, maybe in consulting or in a different industry?
Yeah, this is typically consulting and finance. That's what we have observed. That's the trend basis which I kind of spoke about consulting. And they are hiring from other schools, and hence I was pretty confident in terms of we talking to them and bringing them. I've not heard companies from other industries yet to kind of look at the talent at lower years of work experience from international locations. Although there are certain organizations which kind of hire talent for their rotational programs, but that's for the higher years of work experience, not with lower years of work experience.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
Thanks.
Before we go to the next question, Kiran, I have a interesting question in the chat window for you. So, one of the candidates mentioned that, since there's a lot of consultations with organizations before we launched VIAL, could you name what all companies have expressed interest in terms of hiring for the PGP VIAL? We have few names for the aspirants here.
Of course, I would.
Putting Kiran on the spot, is it?
It's an interesting question. I don't want people to kind of really. Anyways, this is getting recorded now. I am sure people are going to write to companies saying that, hey, look, you have given a positive response. I think all the companies, I would not kind of really call out the company names, but what I would say is that companies where we had with whom we interacted with, whether it is from the consulting space, whether it is from the finance space, whether it is from e-commerce, FMCG, I think we kind of had a spread across various industries. And you call the marquee names, most of these companies are good at looking at the talent pool of PGPYL. I called out few names in the past. Maybe people can relate to that. But at the end of the day, these companies are very much happy hearing that PGPYL program has been launched by ISB. And they will be more than happy to kind of look at this talent pool across various industries these companies are from. I know that this will not satisfy the question that the person has asked, but I would defer from giving the names right now because that's something which would not be right on our part also to kind of share the company names. Yeah.
It's work in progress, in other words, isn't it?
Let me put it that way. Yeah. Thanks, Sowmya, for adding that. Yeah. It's work in progress right now. Yeah.
So shall I unmute some? Sure. Alfia, go ahead, please. Alfia A.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for putting up such a platform to clear all the doubts. Thank you so much. Now, my question is that we have generally seen that product management companies go for people with higher work experience. They have a set criteria like a minimum work ex of 3 years. So if I want to pivot my career to product management, as of now, I'm in consulting. So if I want to pivot my career to product management, are the roles going to be, similar? Like, would there be roles for product management as well? That's my question.
So it won't be product management. It will be assistant product manager. APM is the role. It will be slightly lower. That's number one. Number two is that the internship that you're going to pick up has to be in the technology company and in the product role, so that it kind of really helps you to kind of get into that kind of trajectory.
Okay.
I will not kind of give you a response saying that no, product management is possible. I don't think that is. Maybe
Okay.
an income role is something that is possible with lower years of work experience. Product organizations are also looking at hiring students with lower years of work experience through the internship route. I think that is something which we have figured out during our conversations with a lot of technology companies. And I think
Okay.
there is a possibility that you can look at your career in the product management space.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
All right. Hiren, go ahead, please. Hiren Gupta. Hiren, please unmute
Hi,
yourself.
good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so my question was like we have seen mass firing, like layoffs in managerial space, mostly like most recently in Amazon. They want to streamline management roles. So how does the curriculum address that in that aspect?
The curriculum address that. Curriculum is to help you learn more things, and how do you manage these things? How do you kind of improve your skill? How do you learn more things across various domains? Curriculum is not about if a company is kind of laying off, you be there. You will have the options to kind of move on to different industries and different roles. Now, Amazon laying off employees, I think that has seen in the US. I think they are adding numbers in India. We have seen Amazon kind of coming back and recruiting at various B schools, so as ISB, and more so through for their AFBP program that I mentioned. And they're okay with hiring students with lesser years of work experience. The layoffs that you're talking about is at a very high level, is at, let's say, people with more than 5, 6, 10, 15 years of work experience. But they are very clear in terms of building their leadership pipeline.
Yeah.
So
Kiran, if I may add to this,
Sure,
see,
Sowmya.
economy is cyclical and therefore this ups and downs do happen. But what we have tried to do through the curriculum is give our students an edge. So when we started building the curriculum, the first thing we did is we didn't want to go back to what we were teaching. Of course, we were informed by that, but we went to the industry first to say what are the critical skills of the new age managers of today, and that's what you see reflected in our curriculum. The when we say maximum cross functional learning, there is a lot of emphasis on analytical foundation, business theory, economic theory, critical thinking, quantitative techniques, etc., which are going to be foundational skills for you to learn for a lifetime in different contexts. And the next function, you will be learning functional skills that are not limited to the function but integrated with the views of data technology and analytics, right? Because we want data driven decision making, and this is exactly what we will be talking next week with two of our faculty about how they view data and how they're going to bring a very good grounding of data, because it's all about data now, right? I mean, so therefore so these are some of the edges, and also the exposure that we'll be giving to the various setting is going to give an edge to our graduates versus others in the industry. But I don't think we as a school or the curriculum will be able to prevent what's it called uh,
Layoffs.
layoffs. Thank you, Kaushik. So that's where it is.
thank you, ma'am. Just one more question, like. Kiran sir added like finance and consulting roles will be there. Companies will be coming for those roles. Are like have Genman companies which come for Genman roles like Tata, Reliance, and other conglomerates have been contacted.
Yes, of course. They have been contacted, and there is some bit of a positive response that we have received. That few of these management trainee programs don't visit right now of the companies that I called out or you called out. And we are hopeful that we'll be able to kind of connect up with them and request them to come and hire from the PGP YL crowd too.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much to all the panelists here for this session because this was really helpful. My question was actually someone else, I guess, asked a similar question earlier, but I had a little addition to it. So I've just completed my graduation and I've started working in the product management area. So I'm already on the post of associate product manager, and I'm planning to give my GMATs, and I was planning to go for the PGP YL program. So to be very clear, I just wanted to ask if at this point, if I'm working as a APM with the YL program, can I expect growth in the position, or will that be the same after the program is completed?
So it completely depends on the organizations at what level they want to hire you, provided you are already there at that level. That is point number one. Point number two, this program will enable you to move faster in terms of your career trajectory within the organizations too. Because when they develop a management training program or a rotational program, it is to build the future leadership pipeline, as I mentioned. So stating right now in terms of whether they will be offering you a higher role vis-a-vis they will want you to do the similar role would be difficult. But what's definitely possible is that your growth within the organizations by joining these rotational programs or the management training program will definitely is definitely possible. So that is something which I would like to state.
Thank you so much. Just one more thing. So the big companies that you mentioned earlier regarding the big tech giants and all the companies which have already been present with ISB for the PGP and the other programs. So if I'm asking from or if I'm thinking from a product management perspective, can I expect companies like this to hire students from the product segment, or would there be some other ranges?
Yes, of course you can. I think there are companies with whom we are already in touch with across the technology space, and we will be happy to kind of connect up with them again to see whether they can kind of hire students for product roles within their organizations.
If it's okay, I just had one more last question. That's
Sure.
fine.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So, because of this session, actually, this session was very helpful. So, I have this one query that, as I mentioned, that I'm already working on an APM role. So, will it be possible for you to suggest what could be a more logical decision to either work on this role and go for the PGP program or the PGP YL program for my personal state?
See, if you, as Sowmya also mentioned this, gave this answer, if you are looking at doing career pivot, doing career shift, then you continue in this role in which you are in right now, and then move ahead and do the PGP. Because there you can move from maybe product, maybe you may want to move into consulting. Because I'm sure you may have observed in the market right now that the top league consulting companies are also moving into product management. The likes of BCG, I think, which is kind of looking at product managers from a school like ISB. So you may want to continue and you may want to kind of join a consulting company getting into a product role. Vis-a-vis, you kind of take up a PGP YL and you join the course 20 months, do the internship and grow in the product line itself. So these are two different tracks, as I mentioned. So you can pick up either of the tracks.
That's it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much to all the panelists. This was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Good luck. Yeah.
Okay. Atharva, do you have any questions for us? Good evening, sir. Good evening, Kiran sir, and to all the other panelists as well. It was an absolute pleasure for your session, and thank you for clearing so many doubts as well. Sir, I'd just like to give a small background before I ask my questions. So I am in my fourth year studying BTech in biotechnology, and my career goals would be that I would like to work in the consulting field with a heavy specialization in the life sciences such as healthcare, pharma, or biotechnology. So, sir, what I would like to ask you first off is that I have given my GMAT exam and I've gotten a score of 655. And when I tried to submit the scores for ISB, I was finding two options available. Um, One of them was the regular PGP program, and the other one was the PGP, but not a YL program, the Young Leaders program, which I'm aware was the previous program, which was like a
So
deferred
you can
intern.
send to either of them and just drop in a mail. It's perfectly fine. Send to either of them. In
All
fact, send
right.
to PGP YL, YLP, it will be better.
Send it to the PGP Y.
YLP one
Okay.
code, yeah.
Understood, sir. Okay. So that was one question. Another question is, I think a couple of people have asked in the chats as well, but I would just like to get a exact clarification on this. So our degree is an MBA equivalent degree. So if I were to say go to the United States, would it be considered as another MBA degree, such as from maybe Cornell or Harvard or Duke or something?
Yes, it would be because of the triple crown accreditations that we have.
Okay,
So
sir.
we have accreditations from EQUIS, EMBA, and ACSB. So your degree will be considered at par with other MBAs worldwide.
Okay.
Where your degree will not be considered would be maybe in certain public sector institutes in India. Because
Okay.
you're not part of UGC or AICT, but for abroad purposes, there is no issue at all. And
All
even in
right.
India, most of the colleges might consider, but some specific employees like State Bank of India, government roles may not consider for those roles, but otherwise, it's for
All
foreign,
right.
there's no issue.
Understood, sir. And there is a proper distinction between this and the MIM programs, right? Like, so foreign companies as well will be aware that this is not to be confused with a master's in management program, right?
So that we'll know check out. Maybe
Okay.
the specific details you can get it checked out with the team,
All
and we
right,
can
sir.
help you out. But it will be considered, at par with other for higher studies.
All
That's for
right.
sure.
Okay, sir. So if say 5-6 years down the line, I want to then do like an executive MBA, then
Hmm.
it would still be considered that I have an MBA already. It won't be as if I'm lacking an MBA, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, could you also elaborate on the scholarships aspect as well? Your website mentioned that around 40 to 50% of the class will receive a scholarship. So what criteria these are based on? Do we have to submit a
So
special
their
needs?
merit scholarships. Merit scholarship is based on your performance in the selection process for the program. So
Okay,
this will be your test score, your academics, your essays, your extracurriculars, your interview performance. All of them put together will be combined into an overall score, which will determine your chances of a merit scholarship. Higher up you are, higher the chances of scholarship, and the maximum scholarship is up to 100% of tuition fee waiver,
okay.
and minimum is around 33% of tuition fee waiver. Then
All
there's a
right.
might come need scholarship. This is for people whose annual family income is less than 18 lakhs per annum. And here also the performance in your selection process as well as the need will determine your chances of scholarships in this category as well. So roughly 20 crores worth of scholarships will be available for the PGP YL students for the current cohort, the next cohort which is starting.
Okay, sir. That's very impressive, sir. And finally, for my last question, I would just like to know, with reference to the summer internships, would ISB be having internship fairs or other, opportunities such as the foreign universities wherein we can interact with these potential recruiters for our summer internships, not just for our, jobs after graduation? And is there some way in which, since my focus would be in consulting in life sciences, if it will be possible with this degree to get in at that stage, or will it be a more generic management level role? I can break it up into the two questions again if you would like.
So in terms of consulting, life sciences is one of the verticals that most of the consulting companies would look for. In case you're already working in that, it would be easy for companies to kind of pick you for that particular industry vertical. And most of these big fours, when they come to campus, they definitely look for uh, the work that you have done in the past, and they will be very happy to kind of really look at somebody from a similar industry. That's number one. Number two is with regards to the international organizations. There are a few of the organizations which do look at hiring students with lesser years of work experience. As I mentioned this earlier also, it's just that we need to kind of really let them know the kind of work that students have done in the past with lesser years of work experience. And they will be more than happy to kind of look at this talent pool.
So he had a question whether there will be internship fairs and all, or how is that process going to be? First
So,
question.
so internship fairs on campus is a placement season where we invite companies at one go. Uh, for the current PGP cohort, I can give you some bit of idea, and I'm sure we are going to follow the suit. We invite at least 100 companies, so to kind of interview students, and we will be planning to do a similar thing for PGP YL also, whether domestic companies or international companies. Our endeavor is to attract as many companies as possible for either of these programs that ISB has, PGP and PGP YL, so that we are able to become talent partners of organizations uh, for lesser years of work experience vis-a-vis the higher years of work experience. So I don't see any reason why we should not be kind of following the same suit, what we're doing it for the PGP right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Pranav, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, Pranav.
So I had a few questions. It's actually three questions. I wanted to ask, compared to an MBA, how does the PGP stack up? Like, and another thing, it's just as a precautionary thing I'm asking, is that they're told that ISB hasn't gotten the certification of UGC and all that. So is it still valid in India, or we have to look at purely international roles?
You're talking from the point of view of recruiters, or you're talking from the point of view of program itself? If it is program, then maybe I'll ask Amit or Vikram or the AFA team to respond. If it is with regards to recruiters, I think we have grown. It's been more than 20 plus years, 24 years now in the industry. The brand is so powerful now that we just have to pick up a call and talk to a recruiter, and they say, okay, please come and meet us. So that's the kind of brand awareness that is there in the market right now. So I don't think there is any challenge with regards to the potential that we can have for the PGP YL in terms of recruiters coming and looking at the talent pool. If it is with regards to the overall program, maybe I would ask Amit to kind of respond to that.
Sure. Even in terms of the overall program, the question that what's the difference between PGP and MBA, it's mostly in terms of nomenclature. So if you look at the rankings of various B schools worldwide, if you look at specifically the FT MBA global rankings, or maybe the other economics MBA rankings, the PGP features that we're 31st in the world and we're number one in the country in terms of the FT global MBA rankings 2024. So the only reason why we are not called MBA is because you're not affiliated to AICT and UGC, as you mentioned yourself. And in India, if you were to offer an MBA degree, you have to be affiliated to UGC and AICT. And we are not part of those two bodies for a particular reason, that we are an independent management institution, and the idea is to have our own curriculum, to get our own faculty members, and we don't want to be under the restrictions imposed by those two bodies in terms of curriculum and so on and so forth. That's the only difference and in the Indian context, as I mentioned earlier, maybe a few places where you go, they might not accept this. Maybe let's a company like Civic of India or others. But for all practical purposes, for higher studies or for any other recruiters, you are equivalent to an MBA program.
Okay. The second question I had was, I wanted to ask, what is the timeline with regards to the application? So there are two, up to my knowledge, there are two intakes, like the two
Two
application dates. One
rounds.
is, yeah,
Two
one is
rounds.
December 15th and another is March, I guess.
March end, yes.
What would be the
So,
timeline?
so if you apply by December 15th, you can apply by December 15th. When you apply by 15th of December, you need to have a GMAT or a GRE score in hand. And if you're registered for CAT this year, you can apply with just a CAT registration number. You don't need to have a score in hand for CAT. And if you apply by 15th of December, your interviews are likely to happen by February first week, and results will come up by end of March. When you apply in round two, that is by the deadline will be last week of March. Your interviews will happen in April, and your results should come up by May mid. And by July first week, the classes will start. So there's a rough timeline for both round one and round two. Again, reiterating, round one, if you want to apply by 15th of December, you need to have a GMAT or a GRE score in hand. But CAT, you can apply without a score. You just need to enter your registration number or the application number, CAT application number in the application, and we'll get the CAT scores directly from the CAT body once the CAT results are announced. So go ahead and apply if you've registered for CAT this year. If you want to apply through GMAT and GRE, take your tests, plan your tests accordingly, and apply by 15th of December for round one. Round two will be end of March.
Yeah, thank you. Just one last question. One of the person like in the meeting had asked a question, if expected intake was 140, will it be distributed based on like R1, R2 or based on first come first serve basis? They said it was
No.
cutoff based, and but
Yeah.
in another question they said there is no cutoff. So
Okay, so you're confusing. There's no cutoff on CAT or GMAT or GRE individually. Cutoff is on your overall profile score, which consists of your, CATs, your work-ex. There's also no work, your CATs, your GMAT, GRE, your essays and other extra credits and so on and so forth. So now what will happen is we will ensure that there's a cutoff in place basis which will make offers to candidates, and cutoff remains the same across the two rounds. So there's no expected number of seats for round one. It's not like that 70 seats for round one or 70 seats for round two. As long as you meet the cutoff in any of the round, you'll be made an offer. That's how it works. That's why seats can fluctuate a bit. It could be 140, 145, or it could even be 150, depending upon how the cutoffs move across the two rounds. So the end thing is that there's no bias across the two rounds. Feel free to apply in any of the round which you're comfortable with. The chances of evaluation are same across the two rounds.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Utkarsh, go ahead, please. Utkarsh Sharma.
We can't hear you, Utkarsh. I think
Amit, can I just make a suggestion, please? Now that the section on career questions seems to be winding down, I think it may be prudent to let Kiran Neti off from the session.
Sure.
And if you don't mind, I will also be joining Kiran to exit from the session.
Sure. So thank you, Kiran, and thank you, Sowmya, for a wonderful session, a very insightful session for our students. And thank you, Kiran, specifically for answering all those questions patiently till this time. I know you're not keeping well today, and still you choose to stay back and answer all the questions from the audience. Thank you, both of you, once again.
Very happy
for
for inviting me for this session, and wishing all the prospective students all the very best. Looking forward to see them in the program. The entire career services team will work towards providing best of the career opportunities for the students. After connecting with so many recruiters in the last many years, we are getting into this. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great evening to everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Mahek, will continue with the question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
As we know that ISB is among the top exceptional business schools of the country, and definitely the profiles that it would demand would also need to be exceptional. So, is one likely to make it into ISB with an average profile or something like that, or we need to have an exceptional profile with solid academics and extracurriculars? I really need to know about this.
So you're right, Mehak, when you say that ISB is among the best. In fact, it is the number one B school in the country as per the FT MBA Global Rankings 2024, and we look at exceptional people to join a B school. But what we mean by exceptional is what I would want to elaborate a bit. We look at people with holistic profiles, and by that I mean not just people who are top percentile rankers in a test, not just somebody who is very good at acads only, or not just somebody who is good in one particular area or co-curricular activities. We look at people who have shown consistent level of achievement at least in one of the areas. Could be acads, could be your GMAT, GRE, or CAT scores, could be your extracurriculars, you could be a national level sports player, you could be a patent holder. As long as you can balance your profile, you have a chance at ISB. So the cutoff at ISB is not on individual parameters. We won't look at your CADs or your test scores as a cutoff. We look at a holistic cutoff which consists of your acads, your test scores, your extracurriculars, your co-curriculars, your essays, your letters of recommendation, and the cutoff is on these parameters. So what this does is that if you fall short, let's say in acads, you can cover up in other areas. You can get an exceptional score in your test score. You can have good extracurriculars or a good background in some other area, let's say sports or research or patent. So that's how it is. Showcase at least some your strengths and cover your weaknesses. That's how the best way to get through the cohort to the cohort.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Mehak. Sahil, go ahead, please. Sahil Agarwal.
Hello. Thank you for organizing the session. It was really helpful to gain insights into the career pathways that ISB is supporting. I would like to ask, since the PGP YL program is new, I'm curious about the mentorship and networking opportunities that I may have. Like, will I get a chance to interact with alumni who graduated from the flagship one-year program and such? And, will I get specific mentorship on how I can transition into high-demand fields like finance and consulting? So could you please elaborate on that?
Sure. So first of all, there's no flagship program at ISB. There are full-time programs and there are modular programs, right? So you'll be part of the full-time on-campus programs at ISB, and you'll be part of the same alumni network. So our alumni network is now 16,000 plus strong, and it is spread across 60 plus countries and 400 plus cities worldwide. And you will have access to the alumni. So you'll be part of that same alumni network. It's not that you're going to start from scratch as a new for a new program. So you already have people working in top organizations, top functions, different functions and industries worldwide, and you'll have access to all of them and get mentorship from them. So definitely, as to answer your question, is a big yes.
Right. All right. Thank you. And
sorry, Sahil. I think your second question was on professional development or making you aware of the roles, etc., in the organizations and how you can kind of tailor your MBA route to achieve those career, right? I think professional development is a huge part of the YL program, right? Kiran's office, the CAS office works very closely and will work very closely with each individual, to align their interests with the opportunities out there in the market, also to make you aware of specific roles, what are the kind of skill sets, and how you can tailor your journey, within the YL program in order to achieve those goals, right? So professional development, along with career development, are core aspects of the YL program. Sorry, Sahil, you had a follow-up question.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for answering. That is one of my questions. And so I understand that the one-year PGP has some really exceptional courses, in different specializations. So how would the PGP YL courses be structured? Would they be similar to how the one-year program courses are structured, or would they be slightly more different? Could you please just elaborate a bit more on that?
Sure. So for the PGP YL, the first year will be core courses. And the core courses will be totally different from the PGP core courses. The reason being, you're coming in as freshers and without work experience. So the aim is to give you a much more exposure to both theoretically as well as hands-on learning management courses. So you have labs there which will give you hands-on exposure. You'll have courses designed in such a way to give you a more detailed understanding of how an organization works and other aspects. Once you do an internship between the first year and second year and go to this second year, there'll be electives. Some of the electives could be common because there'll be interests aligned across PGP and PGP YL. So there'll be cases where you might sit in the same class as PGP students also, but there'll also be some courses which are electives which are only specific to PGP YL.
Yeah, just to add on to what Amit said, since people in the YL will have minimal to very less work experience, I think experiential components in this program would also be a little different from the PGP, right? So PGP, people come in with certain, years of work experience, and it's a 1-year program, so there isn't, so much of time to squeeze in a lot of experiential modules. But in this, right through the program, we have 3 or 4 experiential modules where you'll be working, in the real world environment and solving real world business problems. So whether it's internship, whether it's using design thinking to solve customer centric issues, to working in a startup environment. So the experiential or the real world components would be a huge part of the curriculum too, which would be different from the 1-year PGP program.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you, Amit. Sirish, go ahead, please.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hi, I've got 2 questions for Amit sir. The first one being that the summer internships interviews will be in December, right?
Correct.
Will the term 1 results will be out, and will it be on the CV of the student, or will it be like it'll only be our past experience?
Term 1 results will be in the CV of the student, not term 2.
Okay, so there will be a term 1 CGPA on the resume, right?
Could be. So that those are still things which are far away. But if I look at the courses start in July, August, September will be a term. So you should have your
Right.
term 1 results by then, and then companies would want at least your term 1 results on CV.
Yeah, because I asked that because it will
But
give
that's
us
something
the
which I'm
student.
only speculating right now. But if as per timelines, it might happen that way. But
Okay, yeah,
that will
because
only be decided closer to the timelines.
understood. And the second one was that now that it's a 2-year program, like 20 months program, will there be a proper, like, I mean, ISB already has it, but like semester exchange processes for the ISB PGP YL students also?
Yes, we'll have. Similar to PGP, we'll have PGP, for PGP YL also. So 55 plus B schools, we have already collaboration with for student exchange, and that will be extended to the PGP YL also. So all the
Okay.
opportunities for exchange which are with PGP will also be available for PGP YL.
Right.
And in
And I
fact,
had
this is
one,
much more suited to exchanges because the timeline matches with the other schools.
right. I had one question for Kiran sir, but like if you could answer, it will be great. So now that there's a summer internship at ISB, will the buy side firms, like elite buy side firms, private equity companies, will they come and hire for summer internships as they do for doing top other
So that's the
ISBs?
endeavor now. A lot of the organizations were not coming earlier to ISD because of this particular reason, that they hire only through internships. And now that we have an internship for our students, so we're most likely going to have them in the summer internship process. That's the endeavor. So there was the only roadblock earlier. Now this roadblock is gone. So we should have those companies coming in.
Thank you, sir. Sriram, go ahead, please.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes.
I had a small question for Kiran sir, but I think you all can help me out with that too. So as it is mentioned in the website and in the info session, and was it was reiterated that the program pays special attention to data and analytics as such. Uh, are we looking at any roles like business intelligence management or analytics management, or are there any prospects of such roles?
So we could have such roles. It's too early to say right now. But I want to clarify that when we mention that the program integrates data, tech, and analytics into the curriculum, what we mean is that all aspects of these three things will be integrated into courses like marketing and so on and so forth, right? Because in today's world, managers need to use these three things in any decision making. So idea is that. But having said that, there will also be courses like Python and R for some students to choose if they want to be conversant with such courses. So definitely the endeavor is to get such companies, and if there are some students interested in those roles, to also offer those to our students.
All right. Thank you so much.
Dikshu Jandal, go ahead, please.
Hello everyone, am I audible? First of
Yes.
all, thank you so much for conducting the session. I just had two questions. So I will be completing my full-time experience in January 25. So, but I'm really interested in the YL program because I've already taken GMAT. I was aiming for MIM programs outside. So will it be wise for me to uh, quit my job by like in January? And I have like 660 GMAT score. Would love to know if it's on the lower side or if it's in line with the selection
660 or 665? Is
660,
it a focus that is
old GMAT score, yeah.
old GMAT
Yeah,
scores?
I mean, I have 10 CGPA in 10th and I have like 93% in 12th. I'm come from a commerce background and great
So
CGPA.
first of all, if you're completing by January 2025, 2 years of work experience, then you're not eligible to apply for PGPYL because you'll have a full 6 months extra work ex by June, or 5 months by June 2025, 15 2025. So you're not eligible to apply for PGPYL as per the rules, but you can apply to the PGP program. What's stopping you from applying to PGP program? I mean, that's something we consider.
Yeah, I'm definitely considering that also. I'm aiming to like improve my score as well. It's just that I was interested in general management roles like and impact consulting of that sort. So I was thinking, and YL has experiential learning module, which is very attractive to me.
So PGP also offers sort of impact management roles. In fact,
Okay.
a lot of people get hired for those roles, and we also offer scholarship to such people who work in the impact sector post graduation. So those roles are available for PGP also. But anyways, it's your choice. So coming to the second part, I would say if you have to look at a benchmark for GMAT and GRE scores, look at the erstwhile YLP benchmarks. So if you look at that, then 660 is on the lower end of the range. So people with 660 have gotten through YLP, but they've had stellar profiles otherwise. And the median scores have been around 710 or around 720, is the average roughly. So that's what scores you will need, I guess, if your other parameters are average to above average. So look at those scores. 660 would cut it if you have other profile parameters on the stronger side.
Thank you, sir. Sir, so I'll take one last question because it's already 8:30. Vaishnavi, go ahead, please.
Very good evening to the panel members. I'm sorry, but I would like the panel members to repeat the information that you provided for the previous questions regarding. I asked the panel members to walk me through how this PGPYL program helps a fresher. Who's interested in the areas of accounts and finance or banking and finance. How does this course help the fresher is my question. Yeah.
So, Vaishnavi, PGPYL essentially is an MBA equivalent program for people with 0 to 2 years of work experience. And an MBA program, gives you overall understanding of how an organization works, including functions like finance and accounting, marketing, operations, strategies, stats, and so on and so forth, which are the courses you'll learn in the first year, along with courses like communications, cost accounting, and so on and so forth. And the second year, you take tracks which are more aligned to your interest. You could take a major in finance or minor in strategy, or a double major in marketing and strategy, depending upon the electives that you take. So you have 80 plus electives, in most in PGBYL, which will be coming up, from where you will take 18 elective courses in the second year. So if you're looking specifically at finance and accounting, if you want to go into finance, essentially, the first year you'll anyways have to study about finance, and then second year you take courses like corporate finance, options, futures, and derivatives, or mergers and acquisitions, depending upon your interest areas. And then you specialize in finance and look for finance roles. That's how this program is going to help you. But it's more than a finance or accounting course. It's an MBA program which gives you a holistic understanding of a business and an organization, how it relates to its overall business environment.
All right, sir. So we are
Question
running.
there? Okay. Her question is answered?
I guess, yes.
Okay. Fine. So with that, we come to the end of the session. Vikram, any last thoughts from your side?
No last thoughts. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. I hope, we're very excited for you guys to apply, and all the very best. And, it'll be the first cohort for YL. We're absolutely excited. I think the program is absolutely fantastic. It not only gives you the fundamental skills that you require, in management and business, but it also gives you the skills that you require in a new age economy and an ever-changing economy like ours. So thank you so much for your patience. I think some of the people got a chance to answer their questions, some people didn't. Maybe we can share our email IDs or contact IDs, for the rest of them, so they can reach out to us with specific questions about the program, and we'll be more than happy, to answer those. So thank you, everyone, for joining in, and all the best with your applications.
Good night, everyone, and all the best.
Good night. Thank you, Amit, Ketan, Kaushik.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Kaushik. Thank you.